Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Turns out the FBI has been spying on Americans without a warrant or even probable cause. And to do it, they're abusing a law created to target terrorists.
Well, Republicans are calling for the end of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, while others just want the law revised. Gary Lane explains how the FBI has been using FISA to violate our privacy rights.
Reforming the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, a top priority.
This is the most important thing. We're probably going to do this, Congress.
By year-end, Congress must decide if it will reauthorize Section 702 of FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Security Act. The 2008 law allows government agencies to collect specific types of information to protect the nation from terrorism. Section 702 expires on December 31st. Critics say it should be allowed to die because agencies like the Federal Bureau of Investigation have abused the law to spy on average Americans without probable cause. Here's how it works. Telecom companies collect data from phone and internet use. The raw, unredacted information goes into a national security agency database. Approximately 10,000 people at the U.S. Justice Department are able to query the database. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence reports that 30% of the 3.4 million queries made in 2021 were in error. A FISA filing unsealed last spring revealed the FBI improperly used warrantless search powers against U.S. citizens more than 278,000 times in the year ending November 2021. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz confronted FBI Director Christopher Wray about those transgressions during a recent congressional hearing.
The court said it was over 200,000 that have occurred on your watch. Do you have any basis to disagree with that assessment?
Again, I don't have the numbers as I sit here right now. What I can
Seems like a number you should know. How many times the FBI's breaking the law under your watch?
The FBI's illegal searches included queries of January 6th and George Floyd protesters. Agents also performed personal queries without proper authorization. Civil libertarians and members of Congress believe the warrantless searches are unacceptable, perhaps even criminal violations of American privacy rights.
What is the Justice Department doing to punish folks who have already abused FISA?
It's on a spectrum for intentional misuse. Agents and analysts can be fired. In fact, one person was fired for wrongfully violating the rules intentionally with respect to FISA. But the vast majority of the mistakes we've seen are not intentional.
Intentional or not, Cato Institute senior fellow Patrick Eddington believes the government has no business using the FISA law to examine Americans' personal information without a warrant.
And so you had FBI agents going in there and conducting literally millions of searches without any kind of probable cause, and thus, no warrant signed by a federal judge to do it.
In the case of former Trump campaign official Carter Page, the FISA court issued a warrant after the FBI submitted falsified information. Eddington contends the DOJ has abused the law for at least 15 years.
We have seen these violations take place virtually since the day this program was started. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, which is supposed to basically be the body here that prevents this kind of stuff from happening, has more often than not simply served as a rubber stamp. And when they have actually called out FBI and NSA, for violating their court orders, nobody has been sanctioned and nobody has lost their job.
DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz suggests it's unfair to hold the FISA court and federal prosecutors accountable for evidence withheld by the FBI.
I'll just say on the Carter Page FISAs, one of the problems that we found, and one of the serious problems we found, was the FBI was sitting on information and wasn't telling the prosecutors that information.
If I was in a civil litigation environment in North Florida and I was withholding evidence that the other side had a right to, I would expect a judge to sanction me.
So what is the solution? Some members of Congress want to do away with FISA altogether, while others feel revising the law would be enough to protect the constitutional right to privacy. Representative Jordan believes the solution is straightforward.
And the solution is simple, right? Require probable cause if you're going to query this database on American citizens. How about if we just get the FBI out of the business altogether?
I think the question is,
what if the FBI can't query this database? You can't query it with, don't even mess with the problem. Just FBI can't query this database on American citizens.
Look, the FBI has a long way to go to regain public trust. And the question is, I think if the FBI is not doing these searches to figure out who in the United States is talking to terrorists abroad, who is going to do it. And so the concerns are real. And
who's going to do it? We got other agencies that do it already.
The Office of the Director of National Intelligence reports warrantless searches of electronic data dropped to about 200,000 last year. Still, Eddington believes the government must act soon to stop the further erosion of American civil liberties.
So there's literally an entire generation of Americans who have grown up essentially under this surveillance state, under this, virtually dystopian, Orwellian, kind of country in that regard. And that has a fundamental warping effect, I believe, on our society and certainly on the entire concept of the rule of law and individual rights.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
Oh, we absolutely need to change this, and we need to stop warrantless searches of your data. It's part of your privacy, that what you do on your phone, what you do on your computer, how you search the internet, all of those should be kept from government interference and government observation. I think it should go beyond just the FISA court and warrantless searches. Why in the world does the NSA still need a database on every single person in the United States? It's really incredible what's being gathered right now and how it's being used, where you can geofence a particular area, and anybody that had a cell phone active in that area, you can identify exactly who they are. You can then go through and examine all of their search history, everything that they've done. All of these things, to my mind, are far away from what our founders wanted in terms of unlawful searches and seizures. They were primarily aimed at a British soldier being able to enter your home and do whatever he wanted. Well, this is now the FBI being able to enter your database and essentially do whatever they want, look at whatever they want. If they want to, find out what you're listening to on Spotify, they can. It makes no sense to me in a free society that we would allow this kind of surveillance. It's all based on 9/11. It's all based on the Patriot Act. We have to find terrorists, and we have to do all of that. But it's gone way far away from that. And when you can use these acts and this kind of database to then investigate a presidential campaign in advance of that campaign winning the election and then taking office and using that information against them, well, that is way too far. It's high time this gets reined back in.